Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Atlanta Dreamin' Podcast. This is Joshua, ENFP Hoops, joined as always by AmbeeWrites. And we're 2-5. But
We are.
there's
We
positives.
are.
There's still positives. Like, we've still felt hopeful and optimistic. Like, we still believe this team is really good. We have the talent to
Mm-hmm.
succeed. There's just
Absolutely.
some things we want to see happen differently. And hey, Steve Zor, thanks for tuning in. But
What's up?
yeah, let's start with the Liberty game.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at the stats, and I said I wasn't going to rewatch it. I did watch parts again.
Oh Lord, Josh, why did you do that to yourself?
And
Why
like,
did you do that to
what's
yourself?
crazy, like field goal percentage wise,
Mm-hmm.
turnovers, like it wasn't like a huge discrepancy. Like, I don't know.
It was a
It
lot that
just
went into that game.
a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
like first quarter, as always, like it feels like every game, like we have not been out of it from the start. Like most games, I've
Mm-hmm.
liked our energy. Like, okay, yeah, we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have a chance to win this. Like every single game, I haven't felt like
Mm-hmm.
we've been overpowered from the start or anything. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, because I feel like we come out and we match energy, if nothing else, in the first quarter, and then it just starts to kind of trail off a little bit,
Yeah.
towards the second and third quarter, we have a really rough
And the
stretch in the
Sun
middle.
game, it unfortunately was neither of those, and it didn't happen until the end. But we're gonna focus on the Liberty game
Yeah,
first.
yeah,
Um, I feel like some questionable fouls got us in the wrong mindset in the Liberty game. It
yeah,
was not only that. I do want to say like
yeah.
we needed to play better.
Hmm.
Like Coach Wright in that game said there were defensive lapses that killed us and everything. I can see
Yeah,
that,
there were a lot of them.
but like several fouls in a row that were questionable,
Hmm.
like within a short period of time, like a quarter's length, just
Hmm.
really jacked us up and everything. And yeah,
Hmm.
as always, we made a comeback, and then the Liberty, unlike the other teams, the Liberty hit back just as hard, and we had two prolonged runs, and there's just no way you're gonna
Exactly.
get back from that. Like, because we brought it down to like 9 points, I want to say, in the third quarter, and then they went
Hmm.
on another run, and then it was over from there. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, it's been quite interesting these last couple of games because I just feel like, yes, it's still early and I'm not gonna freak out,
yeah,
but do are there areas of concern? Absolutely.
definitely.
And I'm trying to be as level headed about it as I can because we got some time, but I don't want to take too much time. You feel me?
I do. And I told you after the playback, it takes me about a
Hmm.
day to feel a little better, and I do.
It takes me a
But
couple hours, but
like I was
it is
speaking to
what it is.
Andrea and Ghost GM too, when like we were inventing and
Hmm.
stuff, and it's just like, yeah, like it's just the vibe around the dream community that I've seen. This team
Hmm.
could be better. Like we
Yeah,
know there,
it's very
and there's
true.
not too many new pieces, especially
Hmm.
unfortunately with D Rob that got hurt. A lot
Hmm.
of the roster from last year is here.
Hmm.
So
Very true.
yeah, what are some things? Yeah, starting with the Liberty game that didn't go well compared to the
Hmm.
Aces game, which we fell behind again, but we made it a really close game, got in a position to win. Starting with the Liberty
Hmm.
game, what things like put us in a position to get out of the game, and yeah, where it was all Liberty.
Well, I think Lakin kind of touched on it a little bit. Is the hesitation to actually do anything about like making any adjustments. Period. Like
And
there
I
are
am
not many
definitely going to
adjustments
touch
that are
on
made.
that.
Yeah, because from my perspective, I'm always like, I'm gonna try stuff until it works, no matter what it is. I have to try stuff until the result that I want comes to me consistently, right? If you don't have that mindset to kind of change on the fly, like, because me personally, in my job, I don't do the same thing every day. Like, I'm
Oh
always
no, me
it's
neither.
different. You have to be flexible, and especially in a league where any given night anybody can get beat, you have to learn how to make adjustments on the fly, and that's just not a strong suit, and
So,
it's concerning.
yeah, and since we're talking about it already, we're just gonna skip between the games the whole time. Like we're not just gonna
Yeah,
focus on one
I
player.
mean,
I'm gonna
might as
abandon
well.
ship on that. But I was talking with Steph because she was like curious, like how players fell behind, like in playing time, like how that works and everything. And most teams, they
Mhm.
have like an 8-9 player rotation and everything
Mhm.
that they go to. And at points that's worked this season. Like I specifically think about the Lynx game where that comeback started. We put Haley and Nas in, and that jump started us. And then even like when we put Ari back in, Nas was still going, like she had a connection with Ari too. And we just rode with her, and that's started a comeback. She got like 12 of our first like 15 points in that third quarter and really got us going. But when
Yep.
that rotation's not working, because it unfortunately was not working with Nas or Monique this time when we brought them
Mhm.
into Jumpstart and everything.
Mhm.
So I showed you this in our group chat.
Mhm.
Um, Cheyenne Parker in 2 games had 32 points. The
Mhm.
rest of the players that played in the front court had 31 points. There was one player
Mhm.
that played 13 minutes
Mhm.
and got 13 points.
Hmm. Wonder who that is. Hmm.
And good evening, Terrence. Thanks for joining in. But yeah, 13 points in
What's
13
that?
minutes. Only one turnover in those 13 minutes.
Mhm. And last
And
game they didn't miss the point. Like they didn't miss one bucket. I'm just saying. 3 for 3.
yeah,
Just saying.
yeah. So they were 2 for 2, yeah. Because they got 5 points in the game against the Sun and everything. And I'm not gonna lie, I tried to jumpstart something on Twitter, to get people talking about it, and I found a stat
Mhm.
of there has never been someone in history that has gotten 5 points and 1 block in less than 3 minutes of playing time before Amir did it. No one
Wow.
in the history of the WNBA done that because most of the time they would
Her
get played more if
influence.
they're on that groove.
Her
and
influence. Her impact. Like.
and we're not, like, I don't know. I'm not asking for Amir to start right now. Like eventually I want
No.
her to and everything. I
Mhm.
just want her to be considered as part of the rotation. Like if things aren't
Because I
working
feel like
out
it's a
with
no brainer.
players, like especially during this stint. And
Mhm.
then even the Fever game where we were getting massively rebounded, you give other
Mhm.
pieces a try when things aren't working. There
Yeah.
are games where it worked out fine for us, like the Lynx game. Like I
Mhm.
told you, we plugged in other players, it worked out fine. The Wings
Yeah.
game, like that was fine too, and everything. Like I still think she should have played, but I can see why we went with the other players and everything.
Mhm.
But these last 2 games, we have not gone production. You can't have 31 points combined in the like scoring in 2 games. You just can't expect to win much
With
because
all those minutes.
Alicia and
All those
Ryan,
minutes. Mhm.
like we want more, like we know they can do more and everything. I still talking with other Dream fans as well and talking with Steph and everything. Like they still haven't like fed off of each other
Yeah.
to what we know that they're
Exactly.
going to do as the season goes along. I know that's going to happen. I know
Mhm.
you feel the same way,
Mhm.
but the
They still
front
figuring
court
each other
scoring
out. Mhm.
is going to help with that. And you can't have just one player that's consistently scoring and
Exactly.
expect that to work and everything. And it was not happening with the main core of players that we brought in and everything. And like
Mhm.
the Aces game, maybe she saw like something wasn't happening and she dug deeper into our bench in the fourth quarter in crunch time and brought in
Mhm.
Lorella Kubai.
Mhm.
And like that did not happen in this game, and it clearly was unfortunately not working. Nia Coffey and Nia Coffey, Nas Hillman, and Monique Billings all have moments this season. I understand giving them opportunities. But when it's not producing, you go further down the depth chart, just like she did in the Aces game. And that did not happen in either of these two games. And what I wanted to touch on specifically in the Sun game, because we have been like railing on them, just like because we're not believing in them, they're not going to their bench. Unfortunately, against us, when they're like, okay, the Dream are battling pretty hard here. There's some matchups where they're beating us. Let's play Dejanay and Ty more. And they both, like Dejanay got 12 points. Ty got 15 points, and they produced in other ways across the stat sheet. And that was the difference in the game. Like bench production. AD was solid for us in both games, but honestly, our bench was
lackluster.
Like Mike Sell had some good moments, but that was like at the end of the game where like it was blown and everything. And Lake and Ty starting is a different subject, but we'd agree. But
exactly.
Yeah, I just don't get why we didn't put her in when she's been producing at the level she did. Because, again, I'm not rattling on the other players. There's just times where you're sinking and you're not. They definitely deserve to be in the W, deserve to be on our roster. But when it wasn't clicking for them, you need to go a different direction.
Exactly.
And when the only other player on the front court besides Amihir had 10 points and a lot more minutes, you go with the other player. And those fast breaks between Haley and Amihir have worked multiple times this season. They just have a connection, and I want to see it more.
Exactly.
It's there. They have that chemistry.
They absolutely do.
She still doesn't solve, because Steve Sor, I believe, brought up us being undersized on center. Amihir is not going to solve that issue. She's going to bring some athleticism and everything, but Cheyenne's still playing at a position where she'd probably be better at the 4, but she's been doing well at the 5. But especially with her not playing at the position she's would be most utilized in, we need someone else that's producing, and we did not get these last 2 games. I felt like that was the biggest difference. One of the biggest differences between the Aces game and this one is we got a little more production in that game and stuff. So, yeah.
Exactly. I feel you on that. I really do, because looking at, because Cheyenne is playing amazing. All-star level,
especially that Sun game, where Coach Wright in the presser before the game said we were going to make a point to give it to her early, and she rewarded her for giving her
absolutely
the opportunity to be run through and everything.
Exactly. She's been playing out of her mind, but in order for that front court production to work, somebody has to step up and score points. The only person who has been out there scoring consistently, even with very limited time, is LA.
And so the only thing, because I looked at why she may have not have been played, the only thing I could see is fouling. Because that was something that happened in the preseason too, where she got into foul trouble.
Rookie.
But
she's a rookie.
1, she's a rookie. 2, the amount of playing time you're probably going to play her, because right now, she would be like a jump start. I just wonder, even if she's just given more minutes, even 8 minutes or something, 8 to 10 minutes where it's not working out for the other players.
Something.
Because
she's been played way too little.
And if she's playing that little, the fouling doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Let her go use up all 6 of them. It's not gonna matter. You have to give her space and time to create some type of consistency on both ends of the floor. Because she's literally going out there and producing what your starting front court is in that amount of time. You blink and she's out there. You have to give her time. So
I agree.
That's my grade. You have to give her time to really build that.
And great questions in the chat. Terrence, Erie is out for 3 to 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So that was starting last week. And then Lakin, I don't know about making a trade yet. Like, I feel like we have the pieces. It's just fully using them, because there's been times where like we've used our rotation and it works and everything. So I don't know. It's just, again, giving players opportunities when it's not working out. Like we gave Mike Sell an opportunity in the first quarter and everything, like to give Alicia and Ryan a breather and everything. Like when AD wasn't fully in sync. Like I thought AD played a much better second half in that Sun game, and I didn't mind us going to Mike Sell when we had foul trouble and everything. I just want us to do the same for me here when we weren't getting the front court production that we needed.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Again, we're not asking for a significant increase, which we think might.
I mean, I would, but
I want that over the season. But for starters, if it's not working with the core rotation that we've been using, give her an opportunity like we've done for other players to produce for us, because she has been. Like 13 points in 13 minutes, you can't argue.
You can't.
Like
that's hard to do.
And she's getting blocks. Like she's so athletic. Like you're not losing anything on either end and stuff. And yeah,
you're not.
And someone brought up on the TL, I think it was Richard Cohen on the TL, but like he talked about how Han maybe left for this overseas tournament that she didn't maybe would have gone to if she was getting more playing time. So, but like we have Rupert coming soon. Like that's another reason why I don't want to make a trade right now and try to solve for missing pieces, because we still haven't seen our full roster. I want to see how Rupert blends in, because Cheyenne and Rupert were really good on the same team in Italy. Like they had great chemistry. When Cheyenne was injured, Rupert stepped up. Like
I feel like
she is going to be really good.
That could turn the tide in a good direction. It could. So I want to see what Rupert does first before we start talking about trades.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, I agree with you, Tiger Kim. Like LA requires the other team to think. I like that. And she doesn't just go, like, I don't know. We talked about before the season. She has experience in just being ready. Like she is game ready when she gets in. She's had so much time off the bench. Like the last 3 teams now that she's been a part of, including us. She was with South Carolina. Obviously, lots of talent there. Had to go off the bench where she would have been starting pretty much everywhere else. And then she was with Team Canada, where she was competing against WNBAers and came off the bench there and produced really well. So this is someone that knows what to do. And like, man, for right now, we are not asking for starting or like even 15 to 20 minutes. Right now, we just want to give her an opportunity, more of an opportunity than she's getting now, especially if the core rotation isn't working. That's all we're asking now. And again, it's no dig on the other players, like
at all.
They belong on this roster. Like they produce throughout their careers and this season. Like they've done different things, especially on the defensive end for Nia. She knocks down 1 3-pointer per game right now so far and everything pretty much. She can blocking machine. Nas, again, especially that Lynx game and the game before. Like she had 2 straight games where she had 10-plus points and everything. But when those things aren't working, we have to be adaptable like you've talked about. And yeah.
You have to make those changes on the fly. It's just this league is way too fast. Like so many teams can score points on you like that. Like think about the Aces. Think about Connecticut. Think about the Liberty. Like those teams can score like they can rain down on you so quick. Especially if you're giving the ball away. So it's like
and we're gonna talk about the turnovers.
We're gonna talk about that. But like if you giving these teams ammunition, they're going to run the score up on your ass.
I agree.
For lack of a better term, they're gonna run the score up on you. Like,
and I'm glad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm glad I watched the replays because again, like both games, like the Liberty, even late, we were making a big comeback and we thought we were going to make a run at it like we did the other games. Like, and the Sun, we were there the whole time. Like we were outscored literally by 1 point in each of the first 3 quarters. Like we were there. and that was despite having a really hard turnover game. Like, it was our
My
first time
God.
in franchise history having all 5 starters had 3+ turnovers. Like, it was, I don't know what
That's
happened,
ridiculous.
but we have, like, we just shown it. There's been no game where I've been like, oh, we're out of this from the get-go and everything. Again, like, we've matched up at different times. It's just bringing it all together, and I think Coach Wright is going to figure out too. At least I hope, like, over the season, like, just when to push certain buttons, when to bring certain players in, like, because I feel like we have a good roster. I don't know. I'm not ready to abandon it. Like, I
Yeah,
think
you
this is
can't abandon it.
a solid
It's too much
team.
talent. It's way
Yeah,
too much talent. And if given the right set of circumstances, they could run the table on quite a few teams. But they just have to get the right concoction going on.
I
You got to know when
agree.
to
And
throw
then
in this person and when to take this person out. You know, you got to know what to say. You got to know what to do. So,
and Haley is playing point guard, like, at the minute she is way ahead of schedule, because she was playing like 10 minutes a game before D-Rob was hurt, and then like 15 before Ari got hurt and everything. So a lot is being put on our plate, and it's hard. Like, I feel like point guard is the hardest position to play as a rookie. So much of the offense relies. So, like, Haley had some great moments, but do we miss that veteran presence with Ari and D-Rob?
yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
But,
But
like,
Haley is
I
definitely
still
proving
think
herself. Yeah.
she has. No, she is going to be a starting point guard in this league. Like, I fully buy into her
Absolutely.
being, like, just her ball handling, her, like, when
Man,
she's in rhythm
I
and
love
that
it.
decision making. She's shown she's had a jump shot multiple times already this season. I'm really excited for her.
But who don't
So
have a jump shot?
I have no
Just saying.
worries. Yeah, but I don't know. AD has again played solid. Like, they've been a definite solid too. I don't think the point guard experiment worked, like, when
Nah,
they were brought in
it
and
wasn't great.
everything. But, like, I don't know. Like, last season, they felt like just a 3-point shooter, and they've added, like, a nice little mid-range game that I've really liked too. So I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
little
I
float.
like this roster.
Yeah, I
So
love it. I love it. That little
one
floater
thing.
is like killing them. So shout out to AD for that
So you
floater.
were bringing turnovers up first. Let's talk about the turnovers, and I have another point, and then
Oh
we'll move
my
on to
God.
the other subjects we want to bring on. What do you think was causing these turnovers? Because too many of them were unforced too. Like, I want to say
Lack
there were at least like 7 unforced turnovers.
lack of focus. Lack of focus. At the end of the day, a lot of those lapses we've had, like one of them is decision making. Like I say, number one is decision making, because why are you dribbling into, like, you see the defenses to collapse and getting on you. A lot of the turnovers that we have that are loud ball turnovers are the ones where somebody's dropping in the paint that should have just kicked it back out. Like
Yep.
when you see the double team come in, you got to make that decision. Somebody's open. If they're doubling you, somebody's open. If they're tripling you, some cases like 4 players in the paint and somebody's open and the ball is not moving. It's going the other way because you're
I
getting
agree.
clipped. You're getting clipped in the paint, and then boom, easy basket on the other end.
And then,
Also, I saw
oh
a
yeah, sorry, go
couple
ahead.
of them. I was about to say a couple of times I saw a couple that were uh, like just miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, somebody was where like they just not in sync. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, I get it, but like, because a lot of these players are new to each other. Like, a lot of them have not played with each other ever before, and you're not gonna get it always in 7 games. But at some point, you're gonna have to like kind of pull it together and talk to one another and be like, all right, so this is where I like to get the ball at. You know, this is where, you know, da 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 da. Like, it can happen. A lot of
Yeah.
this stuff is just communication. You have to communicate with each other on and off the court, so you can figure out, okay, so this is what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where I'm gonna be at. You know, make it
Yeah.
happen.
And again, just having a rookie at point guard, it's hard too and stuff. But I feel like it went beyond. It wasn't just Haley. Like
No,
it
it
was
wasn't
multiple miscommunications
Yeah.
throughout the whole team, like you mentioned. And then correct me if I'm wrong. Another thing, we felt like we tried to slow the pace too much at times. We're like, oh, we're going a little fast, and then like we were just easy to read what we were going to do. I'm like, oh, we're going to do this, and they have a defender right there. Like, so
Yeah. Or they get too committed to what they want to do, and the defense is already like, yeah, they're it's like, come on, guys.
yeah,
On the fly, you got to be able to make these adjustments too within the offense as well. It's not just coming from the top; it's coming on the court too. You have to make
exactly.
better decisions with the ball.
And the last thing I want to bring up, and you can bring up something else too if you want before we move on as well, but like we talked about Alicia and Ryan feeding off of each other. Alicia is obviously getting a lot of drives to the paint and everything, but we're not getting a lot of Ryan. Like last season, like I want to say like the last 12 games, like we saw like just an unstoppable player on offense. Like I don't know, like her full prowess of talent was just shown off. And this season it feels like we're just using her primarily as a 3-point shooter and everything. And that's just really frustrating because I watched a lot of her games in Italy, and that's how she was used a lot. So maybe it's habit from there, like playing months over there, but I don't know.
I feel like
it's just frustrating because she took 10 last game.
Be a way. There's got to be a way for Alicia and Ryan to coexist. They cut from the same cloth, but there are ways on offense to make sure that they are able to play off of each other.
Because there are plenty of teams that do it.
Exactly. There is a way for them to coexist and play to their strengths. Even though they operate sometimes in the same area, it's like y'all have to figure out amongst yourselves how y'all are going to do that a little bit, because there's times where it's just like, okay, it's your turn. Okay, it's your turn.
Yep, Steph brought this up a lot on playback. Yeah.
And it's not like it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. You have to work together in order to get the best shot.
That's when we had our best game, was the Sky. We were like in full unison. Nas was getting 3 assists.
Exactly.
Mia was getting 3 assists. Like, it was wild. Like,
I feel like that's where it starts. I feel like that's where it starts, because those are your two best players. Like, you have to let both of them like figure out their own chemistry. They clearly like each other. They really seem to get along. But once they figure out their on court chemistry, that's where it's gonna, like, the tide is gonna turn and it's gonna get really scary. I believe it's coming. Cause like I said, they seem really, really close. They'll figure out the on court stuff. But it's
agree.
As long as you can figure out a way, like how to maneuver around each other, maneuver with each other, that could be the key to getting those wins that we want.
It's true. And something that Terrence said triggered thought of me. Like, remember on when we were talking about Candace, like where she was trying to figure out her role on the team? I kind of feel like to a lesser degree, Ryan is trying to figure it out, because, you know, last time, like, she was the go-to person.
Exactly.
And now she's seeing, like, Alicia take a lot of those drives at the guard and, like, at the guard position and everything. And just finding her moments for that. So when it clicks, because if you all did not watch Ace's Sky, it clicked for Candace last game, but had, like, an incredible game, like vintage Candace against the Sky last game. When it clicks, it's going to be unstoppable, and we're going to get to where we think we know we can get, which we were talking home court advantage before the season and stuff, and
I still feel it. Yep.
Like, absolutely. Especially when, like you said, our two best players figure it out, like how to gel it with each other. Ryan gets more comfortable taking those drives and everything. Because I'll be honest, I think Alicia has been playing Alicia ball. Like
Yeah, she has been.
she's still taking
She's
just
been
as
the most
many
like
jump
herself.
shots.
Yeah.
Like you can count on her to try to the basket and everything. Like what I saw in film and stuff last season, I'm seeing this season. Like,
exactly.
And I just feel like we're not getting the full Ryan yet.
Not just yet. Yeah, I can see that. It's a little bit of hesitation.
And maybe even on the other end too, because like she was good at, I don't know, like she was more disruptive on the defensive end too and everything. Like I just feel like on both ends, they're going to become cohesive, and when it does, it's going to be great. Like we were hoping at the beginning of the season, like we thought it was going to happen, but yeah. Another thing, like Ryan did not show up to training camp on time. In fact, she showed up towards the end of it. And they weren't able to build that chemistry as much in the preseason and everything. So maybe we should have anticipated that more, like taking a little time to come. But I don't know. I was worried. I'm not going to lie. I was worried, like, are we going to make the playoffs after the game and stuff? But now, like, thinking about it, like, yeah. I just think we're too talented and it's going to click.
Yeah, we have to. It's like, it's almost written in the stars that we have to. We have to. There's no other option. Like, y'all are way too talented. If we got to make tough decisions, go ahead and make them. But it's like, once the two of them are able to like match what Cheyenne is doing, listen.
Exactly.
Because Cheyenne is playing out of her mind. And I'm loving every second of it. If we can get all three of them clicking, not just together, but at the same time, and like really just like locked in the entire game.
Exactly.
That could change our season. So I'm just waiting on that moment, that game.
Me too. And I hope it's against the Liberty. So
exactly.
Tomorrow.
I would love that.
Because this is a perfect time. Like, we love getting revenge. Liberty smoked us. I hated it. It was hurting my feelings instead of hurting theirs that we talked about before the season. Like, that one hurt.
Exactly.
Like,
Terrence,
man,
I believe you. I feel exactly what you're saying. We have too many switchable players.
Exactly.
Players that you can plug wherever. Yeah,
Ryan dropping 40 tomorrow. Right. I hope so.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, I don't know. It's fun. I talked about how I'm a troll. I like, being in road arenas more. Maybe that's what the Dream need. They need to quiet some fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a little fun. Like, have this successful road trip where we beat teams that beat us at home. Like, the Sun have now beaten us double digits 7 straight times going back to 2021. That's got to end now, so, yeah.
Exactly.
And I agree. The officials definitely played a part in that Liberty game and took us out of funk. They definitely took us out of the rhythm and mindset that we had, but we brought it to a point where it was at 9 and there weren't as many bad calls that were happening, and then it fell off again and everything. There's still more we could have done, but the refs played a part. But
they played a huge part.
Yeah, there's still more we could have done on our side.
Yep.
And yeah, Todrick, we talked about it earlier. It's especially at the point guard position, we're going to miss veterans and everything. We never said we weren't going to miss Ari. We never said we weren't going to miss D-Rob. It's just, I still know that we have the roster to win games right now. Good. I still think we can win. And we're going to see how it goes tomorrow. So, any last thoughts for you on these two games, or are you ready to move on?
I'm ready to just let it, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but we're gonna be fine. I ain't tripping. We're gonna figure it out.
I agree too. And man, I want it to happen tomorrow. So your choice again, Amber. Are we doing power rankings, or are we gonna do the next player to be retired for each team? The next player to have their jersey retired.
Let's do that one first. Let's do the player retirements. Jersey retirements, because I feel like
there are so many different directions to go with this. Because maybe some teams multiple teams will retire a jersey. Could be someone that's on the someone that's near the twilight of their career. Could be someone just starting. So I feel like we are going to have some different answers. So, and really quick, Todrick's question: Mike Sell playing more? Maybe. because Coach Wright did say she was tired towards the end of the game. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. But her game, I liked her more off the bench in the first game in the Liberty game where she was playing garbage time. I didn't feel like she fully got in the sync to get more playing time in the first one. Like there were some rush shots, like she didn't seem as in rhythm and stuff, like to turn the tide of that Sun game. Like, yeah. I don't know how you feel, Amber. Okay, you agree. Okay.
Yep.
So,
but
she's a good player, had lethal jump shot, quick release. Again, if things aren't working out with the core 8 or 9, insert other players to at least create a jump start more and give them more than a couple minutes to leave their impression. That's all we're saying. We're not saying completely ditch those other players when someone is getting in the rhythm and stuff, but at least give them a chance to see what impact they can make and leave their footprint on the game and everything. So
absolutely.
But yeah, let's go in alphabetical order.
All right.
And by the way, we are doing who is going to be retired next. So we are probably going to have different opinions, but Atlanta. I am very curious on yours because you've been a Dream fan for a while.
Ooh, yeah.
Who gets their jersey retired next?
Shoot, I feel like Angel McCoughtry should be top of that list because she was the franchise for so long. Like, that has to happen. It hasn't happened yet. I mean, she hasn't officially retired yet, but I feel like that should be the top player that should be next to get her jersey retired.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And I was just limited. Like, I've just seen highlights and stuff, but she was incredible. The things she pulled off.
Man.
So. And it wasn't
she was
even
that girl.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, even when she left for the Aces, it wasn't like a drama-filled departure or anything. Like,
not necessarily. If it was kept under wraps.
Okay.
I feel like even if it was some bad blood, it was still like she was the franchise. You release her, let her do what she wants and needs to do for her career. So I wasn't upset at all.
Okay, cool. All right, so this one I expected to agree on and everything. Yeah. This next one I am very curious on. Chicago.
Yo, it's crazy because, like, if I had to pick somebody, I have a couple of players that I feel like.
I do too. I ended up settling on one for the next one and everything.
Yeah, it's two of them that I would. Well, this might be a little controversial, the first one. Okay. I don't think it's going to happen. But Sylvia Fowles should. She should have. Listen. Sylvia Fowles, that was her team. I'm just saying, she was there for quite a while. She did take them to the finals. So I'm just saying, that's a little controversial.
I don't think they do it. I agree with you. I don't think they would do
it. They're probably not going to do it because she forced that trade. But
yeah.
But I feel like Candace Parker should also because I mean she literally did what she set out to do in those 2 years that she played with them. Went in there and won a championship.
Don't win a championship without her. Definitely not.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't win a championship without her. It was like literally when she left, like I was like, she couldn't have went to a better team. She really couldn't have because they had all the talent in the world. And they were already a great team. All they needed was that linchpin to be pulled.
Yeah.
And that was Candace Parker.
For me.
So, absolutely.
I feel like my player and yours could retire at the same time and then they get their jerseys retired on the same day. I don't know if that's happened in the W before where they do 2 jersey ceremonies on the same day. But my pick is Courtney Vandersloot. 12 seasons. I like that one. And she was just an assist machine, still is, unfortunately, with New York. But, like, she was there from the beginning when they were really bad to, like you mentioned, going to the title when Sil was there. Like, she's been there for all of it. Like, I don't know.
I have another one, too, now that I think about it.
Oh, okay.
Because if you're going to do salute, you got to do Quiggs, too. Quiggs, let me tell you something. Also, player that stuck around in some really bad times for the Sky.
She did.
Played exceptionally well, especially towards the end of her career. Like when she really figured out how to be a pro and learned her role, she had some great moments in a Sky uniform. So
That's true.
I throw her in there. She's a legend. What's up?
But I feel like that's giving it too much. I don't know. This is gonna sound mean. Oh no.
Don't do this, man. Don't do this.
She can have her jersey retired at the WNBA All-Star Game, those 3-point contests. But I don't know. I feel like she's not on the same level as Impact as
I know what you
and
mean.
CP3.
I really do.
Like, because getting a jersey retired is rare. I don't know. I understand they are a stable couple too. Like, she could have gone other places and had a bigger role. I get that. I just don't think she had the same level.
Like, I understand that, but this is the thing. It's not what they mean to the whole entire league and changing the game. It's mostly about what they did for that franchise that they played for.
And she played at the Call. Like, she's a Chicago icon.
Exactly. Yeah. You kind of have to do that. You have to add all that stuff in. It's not just
and they literally played at the Paul's Arena for a little bit. So
exactly, and it's like I'm like, yo, it's not just about the impact that they made on the league. It's literally the team. So if that's what we're going on, and I feel like that's the most important, I'm retiring Quigs. I'm just saying.
Maybe I'm heartless, but I go on Impact on League.
You're heartless.
But I wouldn't be mad at them if they did it. I completely understand your all's arguments and stuff. Like, she had some great seasons, so yeah. And like you said, when she figured out her role, like 5 straight seasons averaging over 2 3-point makes per game, like, that's incredible. I get you.
Like, ain't nothing to sneeze at. And she saw it through to the end, like literally won the championship when she was like one of those players that was like barely hanging on the roster. So way to see it through, Quigs.
Okay. Connecticut.
Ooh, that's very interesting.
I'm going to get it out of the way because sometimes we don't like how this player plays, but they have put up historical stat lines like the last couple years. Alyssa Thomas, like, shoo-in.
I give you that. I'm trying to think of when that. I mean, you know what? Even though they're not gonna, I don't know how the franchise feels about this. It's probably controversial as well, but JJ deserves to have her jersey retired by Connecticut.
She did so much for that franchise. Yeah,
absolutely.
Who would retire Tina's number? Man, that's a great question. Like, because she had an incredible career, but multiple teams where the relationship did not end.
I have
great.
Yeah, but I have my suspicions on what that could be.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna get to that later, where you have your suspicions. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Who's next?
Dallas.
Nobody.
I disagree.
Here's what I'll say about this. I'm gonna roll with it, right? Because I feel like a jersey retirement is a long way off for them.
Yes.
Honestly. So probably the first one that I can think of is probably gonna have to be like a Rike or somebody, because
yes, that is my hands down pick.
Yeah, that's a hands down, because like like nobody else like saw who they had. There's no way in the world that they're going to retire their jerseys. It sucks.
Please don't.
But
yeah. And I don't know. I've liked her relationship a lot under the new coaching regimen. Like, she is playing at a higher level, especially her playmaking. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it's been incredible. I'm sorry, my camera moved. But yeah, I don't know. I think she's going to keep improving, and it's just going to be an absolute no-brainer, like it is for other players we brought up and everything. And I think she does it in Dallas. I think she's done a lot for that community and everything. She's grown attached to it. I honestly think she could be a Dallas lifer if she wins a championship in the next few years. If she doesn't, she might do what other players did like later in their careers, go somewhere else. But she's going to be a Dallas legend by the end of this. I'm really confident on that. I might be too much. Tiger might even bring her up. No.
Oh, please. Please. All right, who's next?
Indiana.
Ooh, that's a very interesting place.
Now, Catch's and Tamika's jersey is already retired, right?
I believe so.
It should be. Okay. So with that being said, I will say that is going to be a long time from now. And it's going to be Aaliyah Boston. She is playing incredible, already playing at a high level, already won like the top 7 centers in the game. I'm going Aaliyah Boston. There's other players on their roster right now, like Kelsey's done some great things. Wheeler's making her second stand.
I was about to say. Exactly what I was going to say. Because honestly, the way she stuck it out, how much she's loved in the community, I feel like no brainer. Whether she wins anything or not.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Because I knew you was probably going to say Aaliyah, so I had to put
I thought about Kelsey, but again, I think of impact on the league, and I'm like, Kelsey had great seasons. But
Josh, when it comes to jersey retirements, it's not just impact on the league, okay? Jersey retirements, team. Impact on team, on community. That's just my thought process, personally. Okay. Like, I get the whole, they were great for the league. There's a couple of players that have had their jerseys retired and have not made it.
It looks like the majority are agreeing with you again, Amber, on I'm heartless and Kelsey should have her jersey retired.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, did they? I wonder if they did retire Brienne's, because honestly, Brienne January on the Fever in those glory days when they were actually good. She was a menace. She continued to be a menace her entire career, especially on the defensive end. If she hasn't had her jersey retired, she should definitely have it very soon, because she was one of those girls. I'm just saying. Oof, I almost forgot about her. You can't forget about her now. She was a great one.
Las Vegas.
Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
End of story.
I think there's going to be 2 that are going to be close to each other. I don't think they're going to retire Candace's, even if they win a championship this season. They're just not the same impact. Because I do impact on the league and like what they've done for the franchise and stuff. There's no way Candace is going to get to the level of Asia or Chelsea Gray. She was just so clutch.
She might get a couple.
There was not a better shooting playoff performance than what Chelsea did last season. Incredible. No way.
I honestly thought that you were going to say Kelsey. But Chelsea? Absolutely.
No, I don't think. Maybe. But.
I have questions.
Okay.
I feel like the whole starting 5 probably, maybe 4.
Carolyn Swords is an interesting one too. She was with the franchise for a bit.
Very true. Very true.
That could definitely
happen. But yeah, they have quite a few. It might not be very soon, but they have quite a few that I feel like they're gonna enshrine. But yeah, I feel like Chelsea definitely will get consideration, because her impact on this team in the past 2-3 years has been amazing. So she fits so well. I love it.
I agree. So Los Angeles.
They have quite a few. Candace need to be number 1 on that list, first off. And I already feel like they have, because they could have let Kennedy have number 3, but clearly they did not.
They did not. I agree.
And just the impact that Candace has made on that franchise is still felt. Like they've literally been trying to recreate it ever since she's left, and it hasn't happened just yet. They working on a little something now. I mean, they a little inconsistent, but between her and of course my other favorite, NECA,
Yes.
I feel like the two of them. I don't know when they'll retire. I feel like their careers went hand in hand for so long, like 10 years. They were teammates, and they were peanut butter and jelly, and Batman and Batman, and Batman and Robin. So I feel like between the two of them, absolutely.
Yeah, I put those two down as well. Just
Yeah,
yeah,
you have
not
to.
much debate
And
there.
even Chelsea. I feel like Chelsea needs to go in there too because Chelsea was a big
Okay.
part of those teams as well, and Elena Beard and
I can't wait to watch that finals because I didn't. So yep,
yeah,
over the off season, definitely
I
watching
can't
that.
wait for you to watch it.
Now this one's
Yes.
tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota.
Bruh, like
Because they
who is
just
the
had
next?
Sil, so
Like they literally just retired everybody that they should have. Oh, Maya, they haven't retired Maya yet because Maya hasn't technically. Well, did she just retire this year?
did the
Did she
Sparks
officially
retire
say?
Lisa Leslie's jersey? They should have
I feel
already.
like they have already. I feel like they have. If they haven't at this point, hell, I really can't remember honestly right now. If her name is not up there in the Raptors, what the hell are y'all doing?
Yeah, I agree.
But at this point, I mean, she's been retired. Like, yeah, I was about to say, but hold on.
Yeah, because
I
Maya's
don't
has
think they
not been
retired
retired
Beard
yet.
yet. Yeah, because she's not officially retired. But I mean, I feel like she's next. Honestly, she has to be because like Maya Moore. Now, you want to talk about impact on both the league and the team? Look no further. Like 33 was a killer. I hated her guts. I want like literally I could not stand Maya Moore when she was playing. But that woman was a stone cold killer and you could not help but to be enamored by the way she played the
Even as a
game.
Sparks fan.
Even as a Sparks fan. And to be honest, the real shit started when they were playing against the Dream in all those finals. Because
Got
they
it.
played against the Dream. And that's where it really started for me. Like it's a deep
So they've been
rooted
killers to
thing.
you on both of your teams. Dang.
Exactly. Like it's so frustrating. That's why I need both my teams to like be good at the same time. Can y'all do that for me, please? Please, can y'all do that for me? I'm gonna
We're gonna
cry.
get to that in the power rankings for sure.
Oh yeah, we will.
New York. I think this is where you're putting Tina. I think.
It has to be because where else? Where else? Where else? Cause I know you could do Connecticut because like she was with Connecticut for a while, but I feel like for all the suffering that Tina Charles had to endure, the least that New York could do. I mean, they played in Westchester, friends.
Dang.
Westchester was like East Hell, like from what I heard. I heard it was in like a little barn situation. I don't know.
Dang.
I heard it was a horrible, horrible facility. But for y'all to do that to her, the least y'all can do is retire the woman's jersey. She's giving y'all too much.
I agree. I'll go with Tina too. That sounds good.
Yeah, and she's from New York. That's the thing. Like she dealt with y'all, and she's from the city. Like,
Hey, this one we'll go through really quick.
okay,
Phoenix.
you already know this. You already
It's
know the answer to
Tarasi.
this.
Yeah.
It has to be. But also right behind her, BG.
Oh yeah, definite.
Right
Yep.
behind her.
I wonder
They
if she's a
both
lifer.
deserve. I wonder too because honestly, but you know what? Here's the thing I'll say about that. As much as we see the weak spots, she she loves that franchise.
She does.
She really loves that franchise, and she loves the people. So it's like, well, hey, baby, if you're happy we happy.
Yeah,
Do
it's
we
true.
like it all the time? We do not. But what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? My poor love.
That'd probably be G because DT will never retire.
You know what? You could be right. I'm actually afraid that after that last year on her contract, she's still like, you know what? I'm like, no. Listen, that's what like my crystal ball is
Oh, one
saying.
from SpongeBob. Oh
It's
man,
saying
I
that it
do
could
like
possibly
him.
be it could possibly be a situation.
Now this one is trickier than Minnesota because Minnesota, they had a legend waiting in the wings and stuff
Mm-hmm.
that had not been retired. Seattle.
Ooh, I feel like you definitely have to give Stewie her due because she won some championships for you. We did. I feel like you got to. No matter what.
I did too. Because I thought about Jewel, but I don't think she stays with the franchise long enough.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna have her championship where she's the core player of the championship team somewhere else. I don't think she's gonna be part of this rebuild to them getting back there again. So
Yeah, and
I'm going Stewie as
don't blame
well.
her.
She did so much for that team. They don't win those championships without her. Incredible. Deserved MVP. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So also though,
Yep.
watch. I would say later in the future, watch out for McVigor because she is playing so good. I wonder because she loves. I don't know. I feel like she loves the Seattle community and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Australians have gone through there before. I don't know. I could
Yeah.
see her being a lifer and having a really good career there.
You could be right. I could see it.
Oh, not the Vegas and Washington argument again. Not this again. We don't need this. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Miss.
Last one we're going to end on. I don't know. Is there anybody in Washington?
EDD, what the hell?
I'm just messing. That was for Lakin. But yes.
Exactly.
EDD, hands down.
Hands down.
Shakira will be hands down in the future because I think she's a lifer too because she loves that community. So
exactly.
Ooh, she says Christy too. If we're going,
yeah, you could. Yeah, definitely. I could definitely see Christy because Christy is very loved in the DMV area, just period. So absolutely. Mm-hmm. I could definitely see it.
That was fun.
I love it.
So I will post the picks we made and everything as well as the power rankings later, which we are going into now. And I don't like them. I don't like mine.
I don't like mine either, but here we are. There's so much.
All right. Number 1 from beginning till now is Vegas.
Because it's obvious that it's Vegas.
And we talked about they had not hit their stride yet, and I felt like Chicago was the first game where they hit it. I watched some of that game, and oh my gosh, again, we were talking about Candace finding her role on the team, and it felt like she truly did. They're still without Williams, so that they still are not at the full capacity they're going to be at, but they are close, and yeah, they're going to be scary. I think, yeah.
All right.
I think Cobb does not stay with Chicago either, Lakin. Maybe they retire it though. I feel like they still might retire it just because of the impact she had on that championship season.
Yeah,
I would lean towards that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Vegas easily number 1. Number 2, is it pretty easy for you too?
Yeah, the same.
Yep.
That's pretty easy. It rolls off the tongue. I don't like it, but it's there.
It is. They are clearly number 2, and they're starting to play their bench. If they start doing that more, where Dejanay and Ty get more playing time, they are going to be a good team.
The thing is, nobody listens to us.
Apparently,
and when they do,
what they did, they were scouting, Amber. They were scouting. They're like, hey, let me listen to a Dream podcast. Oh, wow, they mentioned us. They seem to bring up Dejanay and Ty. well, let me try playing them and see what happens. And it
Bro,
was the
my
difference
eyes
in the game.
so hard.
I feel like we may have won that game if they didn't go to bench production, and they did. They
Absolutely.
pushed the right buttons, so
Oh yeah, they did. They pushed the petty button.
they are clearly they are clearly the number 2 team, like hands down.
Oh yeah, by far.
But we have a chance to beat them, and like we said, the next game, my number 3, I had to move them up from number 7. I hate that I had to. I wanted the Dream to beat them, and then say, "See, I
Yeah.
told you so." But I couldn't that this week. But number 3 is New York.
Yeah. You don't have to go. Yeah, that's mine too.
And then from here on out, it is just a lot of teams that are close together, and they're like a mix of bad losses, not getting marquee wins. Like, I would not argue with you much the rest of the way. If other people have different opinions, like,
let us know.
Yeah, because I'm
But
not
it's
gonna.
it was hard to like 4 through 12 is I'll say 4 through like maybe 10 was very difficult, which is what I felt like. Remember before we even started the season, I said pretty much 5 down is going to be bunched together.
This week I struggled 7 through 12 because there are teams that are just like, not breaking out. Like,
yeah,
you can make an argument for those teams being in 7th and being in 12th. Like, for right now, I feel like those teams are going to break out eventually, but for right now, yeah. So number 4, I kept the Mystics. They almost blew that game against the Storm, but they did not.
Okay. I could give you
the only bad loss again is the Lynx on a back-to-back. I'm hoping EDD is healthy. I just still kept them at 4 for right now. It's still, they did enough to stay in that position above other teams to me. And they had that win against Chicago earlier. I put them at 4.
At 4, I have the Wings. Because really, I just didn't know exactly where to put them. But I feel like I couldn't put them below the Mystics or the Sky or any of the rest of those teams. So I was like, well, they're not playing like extreme, like they're playing well, but they're not playing.
Sam's been incredible. She's level. My early candidate for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, absolutely. I told y'all before
you
the
did.
season
You
started.
Really did.
I did. I told y'all Trent is that girl.
Yep.
And she's, man, listen, she should have. I really wish that the Sparks would have taken a flyer on her. I wish they had, but I digress.
Here we are.
But yeah, they're playing really well. Satu Sabali is playing amazing. Arike is Arike. The addition of Kalani Brown and our girl Odyssey Sims.
Yep.
They looking real good. That's all I'm saying. They look better than the rest.
And another team that knows where to play. Like, each player knows what's expected and everything, and it's been nice to see. I agree. Yep. I like them a lot too. I only put them a little further because Washington beat both Dallas and Chicago this season so far and everything.
I feel you.
Number 5, though, I put Chicago.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. They had they played New York incredibly well. Both of those games, they really could have won both.
Yep. I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, they go up and down. Like, it's been a mixed bag and everything, but they're not fully healthy yet. They're still doing this again. I like their composition. Like, I don't know. I feel like they could go places. So I have them at 5th. Who do you have at 5?
I have the Mystics at 5.
Okay.
I didn't push them down too much because, they still have, they have it together.
Yeah. And Maddie has been playing good for Dallas Lake, and I agree.
I'm just, the Mystics, even though they're having a weird season, to say the least, to start, I still believe in their talent. So,
yeah,
I have some tweaks to make, but I feel comfortable with them at 5, honestly.
Okay. Number 6, I have Dallas. Okay. Yeah, I thought Washington through Dallas were really close to each other. Washington, Chicago, Dallas. So, yeah. Same things you've mentioned. Tram was pushing all the right buttons. again, I'm seeing an elevation from Enrique's game that I've really liked. She drives me bonkers sometimes, especially when we're playing her, but I respect her. And
Absolutely.
I really think this is going to be the season where like you'll notice it looking back in history as like the turning point where you see an elevation of multiple stats for her besides her jump shooting. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Her and Satu, like what we talked about wanting from Ryan and Alicia where they're feeding off of each other. That's what Dallas has right now in Enrique and Satu, because man, it's been beautiful.
It has been.
So yeah.
So for me at number 6, I have the Sky.
Okay. So we were really similar. Okay.
Yeah, they've had some great showings. They're playing way better than I expected, especially in the preseason. I was like, yeah, boo. But they have really, really, even with, Ballhead Jr. being their coach, I mean, they have really hit it out the park.
They did. The player outside of Elena Smith, which surprised everybody. I don't care if you said you called it before the season. I don't believe you.
Exactly.
Because she just came out of nowhere and has had an incredible season. But outside of that obvious one, Courtney Williams has been an absolute baller, like a difference maker, playmaker, and like her clutch shots, especially the second half. Like it feels like every game she has hit. Like man,
every single time. But the thing that made me like realize that was actually a pretty good pairing between her and Kai is the fact that they feed off each other's energy. They really do feed off each other's energy.
There's a reason why Kyle recruited her. So
exactly, because think about that jump ball where neither one of them would let it go. They held on to that ball forever in that playoff game.
Because they had that same competitiveness. Yeah, that was a fun moment too. That was one of my favorite playoff memories. Like man,
and it turned into something so great. Like, come on.
And Amber, a little off subject, but you're a writer. I want you to write something where Ka acts like she's trying to buy Sun season tickets, and that's when she starts talking to Court, and that's where the first conversation happens. So put it out there.
You know, there should be a skit. Right? There's a skit right there. I haven't likened myself to being a skit writer, but I feel like, hey, it might be in my bag. Let's try it. Why not?
But yeah, all three of those teams really close to each other. Everything from here on out, like they're teams that have not proven themselves. It sounds like a rom-com. Yeah, it does.
It does, though. It does.
But no, that would be a messy relationship to not happen. No, please no. That would be so messy.
I'm just saying, it could be a nice little rom-com. It would
just not in real life. But no,
exactly.
They both messy people.
We having fun. We having fan fiction. Let us have our fan fiction.
Okay. All right.
Our sapphic fan fiction. There we go.
I really struggled with 7th because again, no one has like, man.
I love you like you. Who
do you have at 7?
I have the Sparks at 7.
I did too. Okay.
I couldn't push them any further down.
Because they have some wins. Because they beat Chicago.
They have wins. They did. They have, but they're just not consistent. They are literally just not
Minnesota game was atrocious. Minnesota went on what? It was either 18 or 19 point run. The Sparks had that.
They had that by 10 plus points. That's the part that pissed me off the most. And to be honest, they almost lost against the Storm the first time in LA. They almost lost that game. They pulled together at the end. Because like Jewel, that was the one that Jewel went off for 37 points. Then they played around in that Mercury game.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
So I don't like it. I feel like it's I don't know. It just hasn't. They haven't had that killer mentality to me because they could have had blowout wins in some of these. And yeah.
The only blowout they've had is the very first game against the Mercury.
And they played hard against the Aces that first one. Like, I still have a good impression, but...
But you know what? Here's the thing. You know who they're missing now that they had then? Shanae.
Shanae. Yep.
And Shanae's out. But they brought back, Azare. They brought back
JT.
JT. And then, even though Lay is out, that's another killing
And I
piece.
hate that. That injury looked bad.
I
And
I know.
I think they
But at least
announced
it's
3 to
only
4 weeks for them too. Yeah.
4 to 6. It's 4 to 6.
4 to 6. Okay.
Which
Yeah.
sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
It really
But
does.
I feel like they still have enough. They have players coming back. De'Erica's being a little bit more consistent, but she's
Yeah.
still coming off of pregnancy. So I mean, there's
I
a reason why they're
speaking of
inconsistent.
like what you
Give
were
me a
talking
second.
about with the dream. Oh, I'm sorry.
Give me a second. Just
I'm
let me.
sorry.
I'm gonna lose my train of thought. I'm old.
I know, me too.
But damn, what was I gonna say?
Oh no. You were talking
Damn.
about Hamby.
Oh yeah.
She's
So,
starting to come in. Okay.
yeah, the thing is, like, they have a lot of inconsistency because of people coming back from injury and people, like, coming off of, different conditions or whatever. But the one thing that I can hang my hat on is Nneka is playing at an MVP type level.
Yes, she
And
is. She's played incredible.
Lexi Brown is also having a pretty consistent season. Like, the last couple of games has been kind of iffy. But to start the season, she's had some killer games where she's won the game for us.
And she had a
So, I
couple
mean,
daggers in that Minnesota game that should have been
she
the end. It's
did.
like, okay, she hit
It
that
was coming
shot.
back.
Spark should have won. Like,
They should
man.
have won that game. But, there's some players that, that have been dragging it a little bit. But, we move. I feel like we'll get some consistency because Kurt is not going to stand for it or sit for it. So, their signature win is coming.
I agree. I still like them overall. They played well
Mm-hmm.
against some good teams. They have some
Yeah.
wins. That's what put them above the other teams for me. So
Yeah, me too.
And Chicago, like them falling, helped a couple teams move up to me, and one of those is Atlanta for 8th. Because Atlanta had that really consistent effort where they had Chicago that entire game on the ropes. Like we were doing what we wanted. We played close on most of these games. Teams obviously get more of a lead than we'd want, but in the end, we were in a position to win most of these games outside the Liberty game. Like, and even then, we had some momentum that if it gone another way, we may pull that off.
Yeah.
But I think we're good enough to still keep in the playoffs right now. I have us 8th. What about you?
Well, really, I don't like that I have the Mercury at 8, honestly, because I feel like they haven't earned it at all. But what I will say is BG has played her ass off in every single game. And I like to hang my hat on that. I'm not sure it's the real reason why I should have them above them, because honestly, they haven't done anything really impactful for me.
And I put them at 9th. Honestly, those were the two teams. I know I kept going back and forth because
that's it. That's what's happening.
Like, we have very similar records. Like, they played LA close.
Yeah.
And it's just I felt like their schedule's been a little weaker than ours. Like, that's why I put them a little behind. They don't have that signature win yet.
Yeah.
But Sutton's another player that I didn't really know who they were.
Yes.
I thought she's played really well. Onion Wary got a double-double in that last game. I like to see her getting going. So I feel, they were really close to being put in the playoffs. They do.
They have some pieces, but I don't know. Like, I'm not feeling this because you know how I feel about my dream. And it's really, this is I don't like this. I don't like putting them there, but I put them there anyway. So
yeah, and they had
a toss up for me.
I did not think that. I thought the Fever were going to keep that momentum going and pull away in that game, and it never happened. Mercury made the plays and everything to win. So 9, I'm guessing, is
it's the dream. It's my babies.
Okay.
My babies are at 9. Y'all know how I feel about them. I just want them to get it together sooner rather than later.
And we can jump up these power rankings if we pull off these wins against Connecticut and New York. Man, we have an opportunity for redemption, and I want it so bad. Give us both. I want payback.
Yeah.
And I'll do the same that all the media outlets did when the Mystics beat the Liberty. I'll forget about those first two games and be like, "Hey, you can't hang with us." That was last week.
Big.
What are you talking about? Why are you going back so far in time? Look what happened just now. So anyway, that's what I want to do. I wanted to get the speech done now, just in case I'm not able to. But yeah,
I feel that.
I want it really bad. Number 10, I was a little surprised but they did not give up. Like, I don't know how they did it on Sylvia Fowles' retirement night, but
that's the only reason they won. But anyway, go ahead.
Also, like, I don't know. They keep not getting blown out by teams. Like, I keep thinking they're gonna go off the rails and stuff, but they keep hanging with teams, and I don't know. Like, that goes to the same across the league. Like, I thought the Lynx and Storm were going to get blown out in more games, and they play better than I thought and everything. Like, they've fallen behind by good amounts, but like they keep fighting. And again, it just goes like these are W caliber players. Like, you can't keep a team all the way down and everything. So, but
very true.
I like that comeback win. I'm curious to see what they do this week to see. But yeah, for the first time all season, it's not that far deep, but I have the Lynx not in the bottom two positions. They're at 10th for me.
And that's nice. I'm forever petty, so I have the Fever still at 10 because I just feel like they're a more talented squad, and they're literally this close from putting it together. Like, if it wasn't for inconsistent guard play, it's inconsistent guard play, and Aaliyah not getting touches is literally the problem why they're not getting wins at this point. And
she still had 5 assists in that game. Like, dang.
Like, it's insane. Like, she makes such great reads. Like, she really does.
She does.
It's really insane. That's why she's a cut above like so many players already. Like, it's mind blowing. But anyway,
so yeah, I want the Fever to do better.
I'm about to say,
like, they just need to bring it together. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just because they have an Aaliyah Boston and an Alyssa Smith, you have to give them burn. You have to give them their credit.
Because I really think they're gonna get it together and they're gonna be a playoff team still. I really believe that.
They could have.
Just based off the results right now, because we're playing in the moment. We're not going for how the rest of the season's gonna go. Otherwise, I'd keep the Dream at 4th. But yeah. Number 11 for me is Indiana. So just because they lost to Phoenix and just don't have, like, Atlanta, unfortunately, is not a signature win yet. Like, I just feel like the teams above them had better wins and stuff. So, yeah, and I do agree 4 field goal attempts is unacceptable for her.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I honestly think there's going to be a trade involving Queen because, like, she deserves to be playing somewhere. Huh?
She does. I said I want Queen.
Man, but what do we trade back? Dang. I don't
know.
I'm not diving into that.
Yeah,
but we were talking about wanting her in the offseason. Like,
we did.
Man, she deserves to be a starter. And we knew this was going to happen to her when they won the lottery pick and everything. Like, it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
She's been having a good season. So, and Lakin, I know who you think should be traded, but
honestly, she's right. Lakin is very right about who she wants to trade because honestly, you'll get the most back for trading this player.
It's
we
don't
true. Have to talk about who this is, but
it's in the chat. If you want to read that, if you're watching this, that's who the other player would, and they would get a bigger package. I agree. I can't argue with that. She would get a huge package. So Queen would not with the amount of playing time she's gotten. So yeah.
Exactly. Just saying. But anyway, we move.
All right. So who's number 11 for you?
The Stinks. What you mean? Get the Stinks out of here. Listen. This is my chance to be petty because you were petty last week by putting the.
So you're putting the Storm at. So you're putting the Storm at 11.
No, I said the Stinks, not the Storm.
So you put the Lynx at 11th.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were going to be petty and put them to 12th still.
No. Now that would be the that would be really, really petty. I'm not that petty. I gotta put like
okay.
Because I really could have. I feel like I could have put them at 10. I just didn't because I'm still pissed about yesterday.
As you should be.
As I should be, and also just because y'all want to show out for Seal, which I mean they should, but this has nothing to do with Seal. I love you, Seal. Sylvia Fowles. I love you. Just know this. This is nothing against you or any of the Lynx players in the past that I actually do like. Do I like the organization as a whole, the team? Hell no. Especially not now. And this is my chance to say my piece because I'm pissed off. I won't get too far into it. But
that was one of the worst collapses I've seen. And I don't, you shouldn't have lost that. Like, it wasn't even that they were phenomenal. Like, there were just some questionable plays all the way till the end after you were up by a good amount. Like, it was bad. So, anyway, I don't want to relive trauma for you. So,
man, let me say this. I'm going to say this real quick.
Okay, yeah, you're fine.
Let it go. Nneka, let's have a heart-to-heart real quick. The decision-making at the end of the fourth quarter, sister, that ain't it. That ain't it. I don't know what you were doing. I don't know if you were trying. I know you were still his friends, but no, ma'am. You win the game. You win the game. I know you had some of your besties was in the crowd too, because you know Deb was there. You know Moan was there. I understand, but no, ma'am. You win the game. If anybody knows how deep rooted this shit is, it's you.
Nneka did it for Sil.
And then on top of that, Lexi got bad blood too. She got bad blood too. Cause she got done dirty by Reeve as well. But you know, I'm gonna get off my soapbox because we need to end this. So yeah. I'm so sorry. I went there. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Number 12, we both share. Seattle had completed the comeback because they were down like 30 points. Sorry, like, and you might want to plug your ears, but dang.
Almost there, man. I was screaming at the television. Like, oh my God. Every time I would look up, I'm like, look, guys, look at the score. It was crazy. I really
want for them. Only 28. So it wasn't 30. Okay, like they made that clarification. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Leisure having a bad experience there too. But yeah, almost is never enough. I mean, I guess. But you were very, very close.
But Jewel, Magmagor, Horston, they have been a lot of fun. I do want to say I have to talk about this. Kia Nurse should have been ejected from the game. That was a dangerous play. Like, that should not have just been a tech. And then she had the audacity to argue the call after. Get her out of there.
And this is my thing, too. Also, Ariel Atkins is one of the most even-tempered players there is in the league. And for her to even get upset and do the little extras, like get up off me because you're trying to hurt me, that just lets you know right there that shit was wrong. Like, you can see with your own eyes, but like, come on now. Come on. Ariel don't get excitable about anything except maybe winning. The fact that you got her out of character, like she about ready to go there with you, about to drag the hell with you. I'm just saying, I don't like it.
And to end on another note, speaking of people being out of character, the refs blew Nia Coffey to her limit. I respect it because that is someone that I never would have pictured ever getting a technical foul. Like, she's so even-tempered, so sweet.
So calm. I've never seen her get excited about nothing. And on her birthday, are you serious?
On her birthday, man.
They did my girl so dirty. They did her so dirty. Oh baby.
So,
These refs
but
this year.
again, I really like that we get the, at first I was dreading it, but now like this is just huge opportunity to go into their arena and give them the same treatment they gave us, and have us feeling a lot better, have them, the whole team feeling better, the fan base, have some doubters shutting up, and we get that, and we get these wins. I want it so bad.
Yep, she is a Gemini. Yeah. It's a lot of Geminis born on June 11th. Some great ones. Just saying, we had 3 in one day. Mia,
It's true.
DT, and Maya Moore. So
And
shout
that's
out to all
wild.
the Geminis out here. That is so wild.
True.
Especially to have 2 goats. Well, alleged. It's one that's alleged. One that's actually a goat.
Ryan dropping a career high in New York would be incredible. So, yeah.
Terrence, are you a Gemini? I love that for you. I'm a Gemini moon. Shout out.
And sometimes, the solar charts, just like the astrology charts, they just don't match because they have me as an Aries. So, not everyone is correct. So we'll just end that. We'll end there. Yeah, no offense. I'm totally kidding. But, yeah.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah,
any final words for you, Amber?
Go dream.
Yep.
I want my babies to get it together. Please, my loves. I'm speaking to you in love.
And be sure to join us on Playback. We have a great time. We are going to be very emotional. Like, I feel like the Liberty games are where we're most emotional because we want to win bad.
Yeah.
Especially since they beat us. Yeah. Join us. Help us encourage the dream to win. We have a great time. And then on Wednesday, we are probably doing a Spaces where we can talk about how each of our teams are feeling. Just, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. We're going to have a good time this week, guys. We'll keep y'all updated.
I feel like this could be a better week. So,
yes, we need a great week. Absolutely.
Right. Well, thanks, chat, for being with us. As always, you make this experience fun because we go in directions we wouldn't have. So,
exactly.
We will hopefully see some of you tomorrow. Have a good night.